I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 career mode, episode number 28 today for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, or inevitably, as I'll probably mistakenly just say, the Baku Grand Prix simply, but either way, it's round number 8 of season 2 here of our career mode, and once again, thankfully, we've got another part installed to the car, although, once again, not a performance part, it's a durability upgrade to our internal combustion engine, number 2 out of 3 there, and as we've stated a few times now, we're going for that dotted line shortcut. In the long term, I think that's going to be the way to go, and you'll see a little bit later on as we move on to the engine management. Actually, going into this race after Canada, which obviously we used some worn out parts for Canada due to the wet race we had there. I thought it'd be a good place to take it, but it does mean that our internal combustion engine did get quite worn out there, and so number 2's column for the internal combustion engine is pretty worn. It's yellow. I think it's going to be soon on 80%, near enough pretty much after this race weekend pretty much. So I think we're going to have to move on to number 3 before qualifying and the race, which is a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest, because we're not even at the halfway stage and we're having to go to number 3. So that to me also is a kind of good confirmation that I think going to this shortcut on the R&D tree is a good way to go, because at the same time of getting that shortcut, we are improving the durability. And obviously, if you did miss the last episode number 27, be sure to go check that one out before you see the rest of this one. But obviously a fantastic episode that time, and that kind of confirmed that, you know, in the long run, this could turn out to be a very, very nice place to be, really. You know, Renault, we're on the steady up. Myself and Hulkenberg, we've been performing pretty damn decently so far this season, and I mean, slowly but surely, you would like to think we are going to catch the top guys eventually. It's going to take a bit of a while. Obviously, that's the good thing about this year's game. The R&D takes a bit more work and a bit longer than just simply a season or two, but, you know, we're getting there. And with some luck and good strategy here and there, we're also able to take the fight to the top guys sometimes. So, you know, feeling good, but also at the same time, we do have to be still kind of on it with R&D and make sure we're doing the right things. And in my opinion, I think for now we are doing the right things. I think power is the way to go. Chassis and aerodynamics, for now, we're good still. Renault, as a team, they upgraded enough last season, the AI guys at least, so I don't think we need to focus on that too much. But anyways, we move before qualifying. You can see confirmation there. I am actually going to use number 3 for my internal combustion engine. Actually, you can see I'm actually still managing to have number 1 for the energy store and the control electronics. So quite kind of weird that for one component I've got number 3 going, and the other 2 I've got number 1, and then you got the rest on number 2 for the column. So nice kind of weird spread there on the engine. But anyway, move into Q1 then, and I already knew going through the practice programs this was going to be a difficult weekend. I didn't get the full points in practice, and I wasn't expecting too much in qualifying. Last time in season 1, we got helped out massively by the fact that in the race it was raining the entire time on intermediate. This time I've checked the monitor, it's not going to be raining. It's going to be completely dry, which I was kind of happy about, but then as soon as I went out and practiced, then I thought, actually, hang on, even though it may not be kind of a dull Grand Prix in terms of raining the entire race, the fact that it's not going to be raining at any point during the race means that I've got nowhere to hide really on my pace around here. And then going through the lap in Q1, you could see, you know, it didn't look like a bad lap. It was pretty clean. I mean, a few curbs, you know, the curbs are kind of deadly on this year's game now around Baku. But you go across the line, and it's just not a great lap time. We're in P16, so we have to go round again to try and improve. At the moment, that wouldn't be enough. We'd be on the bubble of getting knocked out in Q1, which is just definitely not a reality that I can accept in this Renault car, especially after how well it performed last time out and just generally how good it's been feeling throughout this entire season. We've been comfortably trying to challenge for Q3 every single time at least, so we're going to hopefully come across the line to improve that lap time. But, you know, also at the same time, it's not entirely surprising it's taking me a second lap, because we've done it quite a few times this season now. I don't know what it is in the Renault compared to the Toro Rosso. It just takes me maybe that extra lap to get in the rhythm of it. You can see we come across the line, we only just make it into Q2, so even though I say we make it in and we're fine, that was very, very close, and because of that, I really thought it was actually going to be a struggle to even make Q3 now. So I go on to a set of soft tyres, because I don't think I'm going to get into the top 10, so what have I got to lose? May as well try my luck and just see if we can maybe squeeze in on soft tyres. Probably definitely won't, but I don't think we will do on super soft tyres. So the logic for me is just, well, we're not going to do it on super softs, we may as well just try and see what the pace is like on soft tyres and see how we go. So we went out on soft tyres. Obviously, if we do make it in, it would be a kind of a really really good open strategy for us from the soft tyres, because obviously you start on the same set that you qualified on in Q2. So that would open us up to a very easy one-stop using the soft tyres and then going to a set of mediums and not having to maybe struggle through the pain of super soft tyres on heavy fuel around here in the dry. Obviously, I've not even done a race in dry conditions at all because it was raining the entire time last season. But we come across the line. It takes a bit of a while for us to see where we are eventually with the animation, but we do come out in P14, which ends up actually being slap bang right next to Nico Hulkenberg there in P13. So we're P14 on the grid. You see the soft tyres really didn't, work, but I don't think we would have even made that Q3 cutoff point with Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon. So you can see in terms of the car, we're pretty much on pace with Nico. So in that sense, I haven't been absolutely embarrassed by my teammate there around a circuit, which, it's no surprise. I've said it many, many times to some of you guys who have been around here for maybe longer than some of the newer guys who've just subscribed in the last few weeks. I've said it many, many times. I hate this circuit. I just cannot drive it. It may be a different story in real life, obviously, with the very hectic race we had, but in the game, especially on this year with the new curbs they have, for me, it's just deadly, and I just don't like it. It's basically a throwaway race for me in career mode, pretty much. And because of that, literally talking about throwaway races, because of that, I actually end up deciding, you know what? We are just going to treat it like a throwaway race. I'm going to take this opportunity to just get a free engine for everything. So we purchased slot 5. We then put in back our old parts that we were going to use anyway for the race. And we're going to start from the back. And we're basically going to take this as a bit of a free-for-all race. Let's just see what happens. But I've just got a free engine, thank you very much, FIA kind of race, basically. May as well. I mean, P14 to P20... to be honest, not too much of a difference. I could do some pretty decent braking and hopefully catch back up to P14 pretty rapidly. So, yeah, let's do it, whatever. Yeah, screw it. We're in P14. I've got nothing to lose, and I felt good about that decision. So, let's go into the race and see what kind of chaos can come about.
Very entertaining race. I have to ask, Anthony Davidson, what you expect to see in terms of strategy today. I mean, do you expect a lot of tyre management? A lot of fuel management?
Well, don't we always? I don't expect these are going to be any more important than usual, if I'm honest. But what I do expect, however, are a lot of drivers getting into the pits early for some kind of undercut on fresh rubber. If you can pit before the person in front, have a good stop and drive a blistering outlap, there may be 1 or 2 seconds to be gained. If anyone gets stuck behind another car, for example, that will be the go-to strategy, surely.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Raikkonen, Sergio Perez, and Verstappen, Ricciardo, Grosjean, Massa, and Kevin Magnussen. Ocon, Stroll, Nico Hulkenberg, and Kvyat, Sainz, Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson and Fernando Alonso. Van Dorn and a Renault rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are at the back of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix grid for P20 after taking those penalties, and today it's going to be a bit of a long race ahead of us to see how far we could get up this grid and potentially maybe even get some points. I think that will be the goal today, as we're going to change around our one-stop strategy. You can see we flipped it, so we're going to start on the soft tyres, go to the super softs. We're also going to fill up the car with a bit more fuel. Obviously long straights here at Baku. We're going to be on the throttle for a lot of the laps, so need plenty of fuel, especially if we're trying to make up places. We want to be in a faster mode than usual, so although that may wear out parts of the engine a little bit, I think it's going to be the way to go to try and get some points, like I just said. And on the soft tyres, hopefully we can jump a few people with this strategy. There may be a few doing 2 stops maybe at the top end. So here we go to 5 red lights for round number 8 of the season. Azerbaijan Grand Prix is underway here from P20, last to question mark challenge effectively here in this career mode episode, and straight away we overtake both McLarens, darting to the inside very aggressively to the inside of both Sauber cars. So we're already maybe up into P16 just about as we overtake Pascal Wehrlein down the inside of our old teammate Carlos Sainz, who's been caught napping a tiny bit behind Hulkenberg, although he's got a great exit. I got over that really nasty curb on the left hand side. So there goes Sainz side by side with my current teammate Nico Hulkenberg, who really has not had a good start. So we go down the inside of him and basically follow Carlos Sainz's line, because Sainz has made a double overtake on Hulkenberg and his teammate Kvyat as we get very close to the wall wall there on the left as Nico does not give me too much room, so he almost made a very nice overtake to follow Sainz through, but hasn't worked out, so we have to go through the castle section and just be a bit patient here with Hulkenberg, but almost a fantastic start. But we're already up into P16, so we're only 2 places off my grid slot, so like I said, you know, in hindsight, looking back now even, it's turned out to be a good decision. So here we go, down the inside of Nico, very, very close stuff in second gear, but it's still side by side because that corner is so tight that I have to lift off completely into the apex here, and Nico may have it around the outside, just about. A little bit of contact's made there, so I'm going to lift off a little bit, obviously, as he's my teammate, so I give him a bit more respect than I may do other drivers. But here we go, very, very close stuff between the S section. This is absolutely awesome racing with my teammate here, as we're still side by side for nearly half that lap there. As we go down the main straight, we'll just about get him. Potentially the 2 Saubers may try and overtake him, unfortunately, which is kind of annoying to see, really, because we've effectively held each other up there at in the opening lap of this Grand Prix. But now I think we've overtaken him. We should be able to get away and try and chase down that Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat, I think it is, that's behind Sainz, and they're tucked up behind one of the Force Indias. So here's hoping a little train can form and they'll kind of slow each other down, basically. That's exactly what's happening, actually, by the time we get to the end of lap 2. You can see we have closed up to Sainz, although Hulkenberg is sticking with me. So quite a long train, actually, is forming here in the midfield. Looks like the entire midfield very, very close, which is promising to see, really, because that will help later on down the race when we're maybe in some clean air on this one stop, and a bit of a different one stop. Obviously, I imagine most of these guys are going to do the one stop with me, but you can clearly see a lot of them are on super soft tyres, so I'm going to be going a lot longer, and we'll have track position later on in this race. Although at the moment, right now, as we cross the line towards lap number 3, we're side by side with Kvyat down the inside into turn 1. Oh, so close with Carlos Sainz's rear end there, as Sainz kind of brakes a little bit early because of Ocon battling with a Haas, I think that was. So close to hitting his rear end. Now we dive it back down the inside in the same corner. We tried it on lap 1. This time, though, unlike the opening lap, we've got a much better exit, and we're toe-to-toe with him as we go down this main straight towards the end of Sector 1. Can we do this under braking? No, not initially, but we're going to find a kind of bit more confidence in the second phase of the braking. So definitely kind of interpreted where my brake point is. I always do that a lot here at Baku. I'm just horrible at picking out the brake points here. Every corner kind of just blurs into one, really, to be honest, for me. And now you can see we got squeezed into the wall by Sainz, so he's very aggressive with us, and I had to kind of completely back out of that, otherwise I would have been slammed into the wall by him. So no love lost there between former teammates. Obviously, the last ding-dong battle we had with Sainz was probably the Belgian Grand Prix, where it was all very, very close, but very, very respectful. Obviously, here at Baku, the walls are very, very close proximity, so it's a bit harder to do, I guess. But you can see that was Sergio Perez out of this Grand Prix, I think, because we're up into P13 now from P14. I'm pretty sure that was Sergio Perez, if memory serves me correctly there, from the race director. And so now we are going to try and re-overtake Sainz if we can, or try a second attempt, basically, as he tries to overtake Kevin Magnussen here. So there's maybe a double overtake, quite cheeky, getting DRS double toe here. We'll get a bit of toe off both cars, then we'll move to the inside, and it's going to be a pretty nice move, I think, as we go into the lean mix to save some fuel under braking, and it is going to be a very nice clean move into turn 1 to take 2 places. Very, very nice stuff. So the next car up ahead is Lance Stroll, it looks like, who finds himself behind Esteban Ocon there, as Perez is the one that's out of this Grand Prix. So now as we move into the middle of lap 5, we are chasing down Stroll. We've gained a bit of time there. Yellow flags though, and there's been a huge, oh my god, what on earth has gone on there? There's a Ferrari, a Red Bull, a Mercedes, Williams car, Massa, I think that must be, because Stroll's still ahead of us. Virtual safety car has been called out. Look at that on the top left. We're up into P5. Stroll's in P4. Ocon's P3. Wow. Huge calamities for the top guys. It's Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel into the castle section in the wall, and it all started like this as we look at a replay now. The two of them are going side by side. Absolutely crazy battle, actually, here between two Titans F1. Obviously, something we didn't really see in real life. There was some more awkward stuff that happened in real life in around Baku. But look at this. They're still side by side for so many corners here, showing off some real big improvement for the AI going wheel to wheel with one another and really putting a fight against one another. As Vettel tries to hang it around the outside here, Hamilton will just about get it, but they're still going to go side by side. Guys, this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well. Oh, no. Oh my. Guys, you're two world champions. That was never going to end well. Look at that. Verstappen and the Williams car also caught up in a bit of a traffic jam, basically. Oh, I feel like Vettel really should have backed out of this, although I think maybe he gets enough. No, he should have. But actually, you know what? I think maybe Hamilton should have been the one to back out of that because he wasn't the inside. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's genuinely interesting. Who do you think should have backed out of that? Vettel or Hamilton? How interesting, how ironic. In the game at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Season 2 albeit, so technically 2018, but the same two people come to wars, and this time it's a bigger crash than was in real life. That was just tapping tyres. This was a full-on collision into the castle section. Yeah, that was a little bit iffy, but very entertaining nonetheless. A huge traffic jam in the castle section, which means now, as I mentioned, we're up into P5 now. Stroll's in P4, Ocon's in a great P3, and Sainz as well obviously moves up. Everyone moves up the order, so really now, in hindsight, as Vettel's completely out of the race, this is the biggest hindsight in the world now. Yeah, really good decision to take that engine penalty. I mean, we thought it was going to be a throwaway race, and now I'm in P5, potentially on for some really decent points here, and we're on a one-stop, a comfortable one-stop. This should be hopefully this afternoon, so looking good, looking good. So we move on to lap 8 now. We're chasing after Esteban Ocon through the S section, so Stroll obviously overtook him, you can see up ahead, and actually on the minimap you can see Stroll's had some really decent pace, just like he had in real life, to get away from Ocon, and there's a lot of a bit of clean air between him and the Frenchman as we overtake him very easily down basically what is the equivalent of a motorway, really. I like to call it sometimes the M25 or the M40, whatever you want to say, any M really from the UK motorways, because the same exact thing happens then on the next lap, lap 9. Ocon simply gets me back there with slipstream and DRS. But crucially for us, we broke a little bit earlier, used some of the curbing on the inside to get a tighter inside line to turn 1, and you can see Ocon did definitely run wide a little bit there with his car squirming around, so we're onto the inside of that nasty curb once again, trying to fight back on this Force India. We're up into Rich Mix, but you can see his rear wing has opened up. He's got that second bite of the cherry for DRS because we're still behind him at the detection point. I can't remember exactly if there's a second detection point or not here around Baku. Either way, he got DRS, so that would have helped him quite a bit. So it takes us till the next lap 11 to start closing up, but it won't really matter, because you can see there I almost followed him into the pits, but he is indeed going to make that first pit stop. Obviously he was on super soft tyres, so like I said, now we're on the soft tyres, and pretty much now this is the zone where we'll be on our own basically. We move on all the way to lap 15, so 4 laps later are pretty much nothing for us, just going round the circuit, trying the best we can in terms of the delta and lap time, and we come into the pits now for our one and only pit stop of the afternoon. So this is now our chance to go into the super soft tyres. We'll have 10 laps left as we come out, and we'll be on the faster tyres. So, and we'll have plenty of rich mix because we still do have a decent amount saved up. So I'm feeling really good about this. We should hopefully, knock on wood, just come out around P5 again. And then we'll see, because the cars we're fighting aren't top cars. Like, we've got the Haas that's going through turn 1. Then Sainz actually, unfortunately, is going to overtake us in the pit stop phases. It looks like Sainz has done some work there on the soft tyres. We're still ahead of Ocon, but Sainz has managed to overtake myself and Ocon. So Sainz has done some really great work on those soft tyres. But you can see the cars we're fighting aren't, they're not top cars. They're midfield cars that we should be able to fight, like the Toro Rosso, the Haas, the Force India car. So we are well and truly up for this fight for what could be a potential high of P4 here with Magnussen. You can see on the mini-map also, there's a huge gap from Magnussen onto the next car. So that's a lot of clean air to work with, but that suggests that's the highest we can maybe hope for, P4, which I'll take, P20 to P4. I mean, if you told me that at the beginning of the weekend, I would have said sign me up basically. So yeah, let's go for it. We're on lap 17 now, so we've got 9 laps left, and we're closing right up to the back of Sainz. And so at the moment, just being a little bit patient, to be honest, through this last sector. It doesn't really matter too much that we're having to sit behind Sainz in his dirty air through all those corners, because if we just cruise up to the back of him now, we should get enough tow. And obviously with the DRS, he will have DRS as well off Magnussen, but we're going to have a much stronger tow. You can see getting right up to his gearbox, pulling out to the left, out of that slipstream to maybe go down the inside, but he's still going to be there with the proximity arrow, so he's going to have equal chance to maybe try and outbrake me and defend. As we're on the inside, get on the curbing a little bit, that probably helps him out a little bit as our right tyre gets a little bit jammed on his side pod. We're going to be on the inside once again, deja vu for about the 3rd or 4th time this race. We've gone down the inside of that corner, and every single time we've had to fend with that really nasty curb, and every time the car on the right hand side, on the outside, has got to come off better. We try to maybe go through on the right hand side there. Sainz just about gave me enough room, but then just as we started to brake, squeezed me out into the wall there. So, it's not too much contact, but Yeah, a little bit frosty, but no, you know, no dramas at the moment. It's just a good old scrap, really, between two old former teammates. I mean, I never had a problem with him in Season 1. It was always a really good fight. It's kind of nice to see that nothing kind of changes in Season 2. We're having the same kind of scrap, and we've got the same amount of respect, I guess you could say. And we come through very, very close between the wall and his side pod there, and this should hopefully be it, because we're already past him. Now we open DRS to go down the main straight, so I think, I hope I can say, this is going to be the move on Sainz, and we're up into now what will be P5, I believe. And so now with a bit of clean air ahead of us, we can hopefully get onto the back of Kevin Magnussen as we go up into stand and make sure we were in lean as we enter turn 1. Although saying that, go a little bit deep into that next left-hander, so having to open DRS and maybe look a little bit behind us, move to the left to kind of break the slipstream off Sainz to try and aid us to get away in a straight line. And then now into the next corner, hopefully that will be it, and that will be the end of the action with that Toro Rosso, and we'll see what the pace is like versus that Haas, although that Haas has been pretty damn nippy in a straight line, obviously, in races gone by. But you can see we've now moved on. This is a panning shot on actually the second last lap of the Grand Prix. You saw there briefly, it was me there, you can see, chasing down Magnussen, but behind us, we've got an even better scrap between Hamilton, this is, who, remember, broke his front wing into the castle section, now makes a triple overtake, a 3 wide, double overtake, I should say, but they're 3 wide into turn 1 during the braking phase, and Hamilton manages to go down the inside of both those cars, unable to actually get Sainz, because Sainz does a great job on the exit of the corner to re-overtake Hamilton. So Hamilton just makes one overtake, then has to wait till the second straight, but I don't think it'll matter too much for him, and he overtakes the Toro Rosso, and that'll be Hamilton with a pretty damn good recovery considering how his race was literally you know, moments ago in this video, you know, facing the wall in the castle section. Cutting back to our fight, you did see in that panning shot down that main straight on the previous lap, I was chasing down Magnussen, and it's taken us right till the death of this race. This is the last lap, last few corners, but I'm going to try and size up a move, and I'm really hoping this may be a Bottas v Stroll kind of moment from the real-life Grand Prix. I think we may be able to pull off a copycat move, because we're up into Rich Mix. We've had a really good run-through, really good rhythm through that S section. It does matter kind of how much rhythm you get through there, because that slingshots you across. And here we go, open DRS, right up to his gearbox, move to the left, and it is going to be a copycat move like Bottas did to Stroll in the real-life Azerbaijan Grand Prix to take him on the line, although this one will be to take the podium away from him to get 3rd place. Absolutely awesome. That is P20 to P3. Rewind back to when I said this was a throwaway race and we're going to take the engine penalty, and, you know, that's why we're going to do it, because I just know it's not going to be a good race for us. It's going to be one to kind of just discount. We've now ended up with a podium here today, albeit this one is massively due to luck. Obviously, the castle crash had about 5 different cars. It was the Hamilton, obviously, who still finished very well, but obviously behind us, it was Vettel involved in that, Verstappen, I believe it was Massa's Williams, and also I think it was one of the Force India cars, and maybe a 6th as well, because we didn't really see it too many times, but there may have been more cars that got caught up as Vettel and Hamilton were maybe reversing, because we saw Vettel did actually carry on, or tried to carry on, without a front wing, and then retired later on. So a lot of incidents obviously that aided us and also aided Magnussen, Sainz, Stroll. So, you know, a lot of people have gained in this race as well as us. A lot of luck here this time around to get that podium, but that does kind of continue the podium streak then for 2 races. And it does see us overtake Red Bull Racing in the Constructors. Finally, it wasn't the win at Canada that did it. It was the 3rd place at Baku that did it. That we finally got Red Bull Racing once again, and we're back up into 3rd place of the Constructors. I feel like this is going to be a begrudging kind of match right to the death of this season between Renault and Red Bull, and it's even better because of the whole history of from season 1 at the end of me getting shafted by Red Bull and not getting promoted there. It's going to mean a lot more if we can overtake them with the Works Renault engine and the Works Renault car. You can see the rivalry doing all good, reputations going up and up and up, and even more so in our own team.
Hi, I have to dash off, but I wanted to give you the contract first. I'll let you read over the details, but congratulations.
So some of you guys were commenting below of the last episode of Canada that my win should have deserved me a first driver position. It's taken until Baku now to actually get that. I think it's really not a case of when you do the performance. I think it's just a case of around here is when they do the team promotion. Perhaps, I don't know, Renault may work in strange ways, or Emma may work in strange ways. But we've got that team promotion, which is really good because that's going to add on some R&D points for us because we're going to get a first driver bonus now. But just taking a quick look at that trophy cabinet, just want to admire it. That first place trophy now adding to the trophy with that third place here at Azerbaijan. Really, really good stuff so far. It's been a fantastic season, you know, in the first 8 rounds, and it's really good to see that you guys have been enjoying it as well. Reading the comments of the last episode was absolutely amazing, guys. So I just want to say I haven't really said it maybe in the last few episodes, but thank you guys so much for the continued support on this series. Still, it's been so great, and it's great to see that you guys also appreciating the daily content from the career mode. So thank you guys so much for that. Again, if you did enjoy this one, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And then do get subscribed for weekly F1 content. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your days, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.